This is Fxalexg. He's a popular forex trader known for taking $100 into $1 million. And then those videos went viral.
This is the night that we will make history.
A whole lot of people criticized him, calling him a fake guy, and a whole lot of people really felt he was a genuine trader. Now, where is my stand? I'm still figuring it out. So, the purpose for this video is I'm going to dive deep into his Telegram signal and investigate if this guy is actually a genuine forex trader. Are you ready to do this with me? Let's go.
In the month of October of the year 2024, Fxalexg tried to turn $100 into $1 million, and sure, that was a successful run in which I specifically was part of. Fast forward then to a year later, Fxalexg now tries to take a student by hand to turn $1,000 into $100,000, in which I also want to be part of his journey through his Telegram group chat, the G Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be joining Fxalexg in this challenge, copying all his signals to see if I can take $10,000 into $100,000 in the next few months. Let's go.
I'm back. Trade updates. The time is 1:19 a.m. 9th of June, Monday 2025. You can see. Yep. So, trade updates. Let me show you my losses. Okay, so this is how we're floating. Let me turn off the lights. So, this is how we're floating. USD CHF, big loss. Euro USD going well. If you come over here to the system, there are various trades I have. First things first, USD CHF. Let me just do a wrap up of the trades and what I'm expecting. Wow, USD CHF is really pulling into the upside. So if we come to the 5 minutes time frame, I was expecting a sell for USD CHF because there is a kind of head and shoulder right here. So first things first, we see this head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, double here, head, double here, then push to the downside, double tops, push to the downside, double tops, push to the downside, and so on and so forth. So the market has been doing this for a while, and to some extent I'm expecting, seems like my stop loss is about to be hit, ladies and gentlemen. Oh damn it. But to some extent I'm expecting the market to actually push downward, because the market gave me this signal. So I was expecting it to break underneath here and push to the downside because of these head and shoulder it has given me, but it's not really respecting that for USD CHF. But then the next one, which is CHF JPY. So CHF JPY, I'm expecting a push to the downside because I'm expecting a little push to the downside before it goes to the upside. Now, if you check on a higher time frame, CHF JPY is on an uptrend, right? It's on an uptrend, yeah. So why am I trading against the trend? Because it is very simple. The law of the market says if the market goes up, it will surely come down. I'm just giving you the simplest law. Hope you can see my face. Very good. Now let me say it again. The law of the market states that if the market goes up, it will surely come down. So in that case, if we look at this market, it has been going up, coming down, going up. And here it did little retest, and it has gone up for a long time, in which it has not really done a major pullback. And I believe this is the point the market could do a major pullback. So that's why I'm expecting the trade to come to this area. Now, if we go to the lower time frames, the 5 minutes, these were all trades I anticipated last week from Thursday, and I saw them and I felt their movement was slow, so it was not going to happen that week. But then again, we're seeing it push to the downside. That's what I'm expecting. Break under and retest, then push to the downside. But I did not enter this one because it's not really giving me what I want. And then we now have GBP JPY GJ. Now for GJ, I'm expecting a buy. I'm expecting a buy for GG because, like I said, the market has been going up, coming down, going up, coming down, and then it made this push to the upside, in which is making the pull to the downside. Exactly. Now, this was what I said for the previous trade, the pullback. Now, this is GJ. If I had gotten this trade here, I would have entered for a pullback for GJ, which is what I am currently expecting for CJ, CHF, JPY, in which I got it here. So I'm expecting a pullback. But then for GJ, the pullback has already happened. So I'm expecting it to come to this key level. Then I'll now expect a push up again. Because like I said, if the market goes up, it will surely come down. And then it goes up and it will surely come down. And that is for a bullish market. And then for a bearish market, yes, just so you can see me. And then for a bearish market, if the market comes down, it will surely go up. And if it comes down, it will surely go up, and so on and so forth. So this, I'm just expecting a pullback to the downside. So then I'll enter the trade. Then for Euro USD, which is the pair that is respecting my setup, you know, it's funny how the pairs that respect your setup are the ones that maybe you enter with the least risk to reward. Now for Euro USD, I'm simply expecting Euro USD to pull all the way to the downside, because if you check on a higher time frame, Euro USD has a very clean setup, and from a 1 hour time frame, it has been on a sell, on a down trade. Yes, it has actually been on a buy for a long time, but then this 1 hour time frame, from here it has been on the buy, but from here it has been on a sell. We can see how the trade has been going for Euro USD. Up, down, up, down, up. Now this down is beneath this major key level. If it were to be above, then I would have said, okay, we're still going up. But because it's beneath, so we're going down. Now, Fxalexg will say if we're above, we're buying. If we're under, we're selling. That's his quote. Let me say it again with my touchlight. If we're above, we're buying. If we're under, we're selling. So from here, we're obviously under. So we have to expect a retest and then push. It may not push all the way down here, but I have a strong feeling it's going to push all the way here. And then we can now continue. So we're taking the trade from here. So then if we go down to the 15 minutes time frame, in which this trade could end up quickly before the day even, before the sun rises, because the time is still 1 a.m. So we can see as the trade is exactly respecting our setup. Euro USD is respecting our setup. We can see that is for Euro USD. It's a clean trade respecting our setup. But then again, USD CHF, right, is not completely respecting our setup. But I feel like I'm going to re-enter this trade because it just stopped us out. And then the next one is USD JPY. Now, if you realize, USD JPY is very similar to GBP JPY. GJ UJ, very similar. So that is the exact same thing I'm expecting for USD JPY. I'm expecting a pullback into this zone, into this major key level. Then I take it to the upside. Now, you could be wondering, why do I always love pullbacks into the major key level? Now, the reason I love pullbacks into the major key level is that, let me turn on the lights. All right, now lights are on. Now, the reason I love pullbacks into major key levels is that major key levels are like a bus stop where you're going to wait for a vehicle to pick you up. So if you want to get into a vehicle and if you want to wait, the best place for you to wait is the bus stop, where you're sure that the vehicle is most likely going to come into. Now, if the vehicle does not get to the bus stop and maybe it does a U-turn, you don't have to chase the vehicle. Then maybe if the vehicle gets to the bus stop and then or maybe it passes the bus stop, you didn't notice when the vehicle gets to the bus stop, you also do not have to chase the vehicle. That's why sometimes if we have a missed entry, we don't chase it. But then again, another thing is, if the vehicle gets to the bus stop, sometimes the vehicle may not go towards your direction. And if it goes against you, it's just the Forex market. It can obviously and always go against you. So the thing is, the safest place for you to wait for the vehicle is the bus stop. And now in the Forex market, how are you going to know the bus stop? It's very simple. Just look at the previous places. Where are the places that the market has respected? For example, you see this red line right here. I drew it. This is like a bus stop. Let's call this a bus stop. This is the boss came here, 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 the boss came here also. So obviously the boss could most likely again come here because the boss has been respecting the bus stop on several occasions. Now, if you check other trades, for example, Euro USD, this is like a major key level. Like I said, let's call it the bus stop. The bus came here, the bus came here, came here, came here again, and then again exactly came to the same point, which I took the trade. Now, from this same point, which is on the 15 minutes time frame, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the bus stop, and we can see how the bus perfectly tagged into that bus stop, and we're expecting some momentum from the markets. Then we just push it to the downside to our direction. So that is for Euro USD. Now you understand why I keep on waiting for the trades in the perfect bus stop. So you're not going to be entering a trade. You cannot enter a trade right here, because if you enter a trade right here, it could still pull back down. It's like saying you rush to go to a bus stop, or you rush a bus to enter the bus, and then the bus actually ends up coming to that same bus stop where you were standing. It would have been better you just waited at that bus stop. So as long as you can get your bus stops right in the forex market, you're good to go. Get your bus stop correctly. Watch the places where the market has previously respected. Now you can call those your bus stops, or your key levels, or your fair value gaps, or whatever you want to call it. Different strategy has different names, and so on and so forth. So for USD JPY, this is the bus stop. Now let me explain. If we go out on a higher time frame, now on a higher time frame, this is the bus stop we're watching out for. The market has a pull down, has a push up again. But now the reason I decided to take this trade to the upside is because of these double bottoms. Now there are a whole lot of rules in the markets, in the forex markets, that govern our trade. Whenever we believe in double bottoms, double tops, head and shoulder, and inverse head and shoulder, and let me show you what they all mean. Now double bottoms are this: when the market comes down, 1, 2, that is a double bottom. Now double top is basically the opposites: 1, 2, that is a double top. And then we now move over to head and shoulder. Head and shoulder is like 3-step: 1, 2, and then 3. Yes, it may not be perfect in line like this. Then on most cases, it comes down to retests. That's bus stop. You see, this is 1, this is 2nd, this is 3rd. Now we know that this is a bus stop, and I would say before you decide if a place is a bus stop, you need to make sure that you've had 3 touches on that stop. Then you can now agree, okay, seems like this is a verified bus stop. Okay, so this, we've had 1 touch, we've had 2 touches, and we've had 3 touches. Then we can say, yes, this is a verified bus stop. Then we can now take the trade from here to the downside. Now this is for a head and shoulder. And now inverse head and shoulder, obviously the opposite, is when we see the markets do something like this: 1, 2, and then 3 again. Then it comes back here to retest, and then we take it to the upside. So from all this we have seen, we can now come down here and we can see that the market gave us a double bottom. And whenever we see a double bottom, there is a likelihood that the market is going to go to the upside. But then remember, initially I said that there's a rule in the market that if the market goes up, it must come down. Whatever goes up must come down. So, excuse me. In this case, the market has been going up for a long time, but it has not retested, right? You see on this other place, it will push down, retest, push down, retest, push down, retest, push down, and then it made a major retest, and it pushed down again, retest, push down again, and then it's up again. But now for this move, if we come down to a 1-hour time frame, there has not really been a serious retest except this one, and this is not that much, so it has just been going up and up and up and up. So we should expect some retest. Now when we now expect to retest, remember that was the exact same thing we expected for GJ, GBP, JPY. So when we now expect the retest into this bus stop or key level or psychological level or EMA or fair value gap or whatever your forex mentor wants to call it, whenever we come here, when we come here, then we can now take the trade to the upside, knowing that we are keeping the flow, and the flow is a bullish flow, is on an uptrend. So knowing that we're going to keep the flow, then we just expect the markets to come into this bus stop, and then we keep the flow. Simple and short. Then AUD card, do I have anything for AUD card? Yes, I have something for AUD card. And I think AUD card is kind of going to be my favorite trade aside Euro USD and my longest. Now AUD card is a buy. Now why is it a buy? Now the market has been going on a downtrend for a very long time. AUD card is more like a day trade, if not even a swing trade. So this is a daily time frame. It has kind of been going down for a while, but then again the downward move stopped and then it started pushing up. And now, like I said, whatever goes up must come down. So you see it pushed up this way, consolidated, and now it came down a little bit. So we're now expecting it to push up again as it did. That is basically the forex market: up, down, up, down, up, unless it has changed direction. So down, up, down, up, down. That's how the forex market works. So then if we come into the 4 hours time frame, we are expecting the markets to go up, right? So as we're expecting the markets to go up, right now we can now see an inverse head and shoulder here. Remember, I talked about inverse head and shoulders previously. Now, if we look at this, my drawing, we can see inverse head and shoulder is the one that has 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it may not be perfectly accurate, but it looks something like this. That is for an inverse head and shoulder. Now we can see this kind of style. It is very similar to here. We can see this was the right shoulder, this was the head, this was the left shoulder. Now we're expecting a break above and retest. Now once we get that break above and retest, in which we've not gotten, and we can see the market fails to break below here. The market fails to break below here. So once we have gotten that break above, then ladies and gentlemen, we're good to go for AUD card. So AUD card is good. Do I have anyone for GBP CHF? Oh wow, I didn't know that I had a trade for GBP CHF, and it seems like it's kind of going well, but I'm not really trusting this trade, especially the fact that USD CHF is actually messing around. My CHF pairs a whole lot of times can be quite disappointing. If we look at USD CHF, you see it has started pulling back down after hitting my stop loss. Such is life in the forex market. So GBP CHF, I don't want to put my mind on this trade, but it seems like it could go to my direction. But then again, I still have it analyzed here, and I still have it marked out. For my USD CHF, the pairs I'm expecting: USD CHF, CHF JPY, GJ, GBP JPY, and then Euro USD, and I think USD JPY. So these are like the top 5 or bottom. I put them at the bottom, but you can call them top 5. Then before these two comes in. So ladies and gentlemen, for now, this is how we're floating in profits. So for now, this is basically how we're floating in profits for Euro USD. And I'm going to update you guys later in a couple of hours, okay? Bye for now. Alright guys, so it's about more than 24 hours later, and then let me give you an update on what is happening on the markets. So basically everything played out, but not exactly how I planned. This is first things first, USD CHF. Now you can see the former screenshot, and now this is what USD CHF is currently having. Now this was where I entered the trade, in which the trade stopped me out. I don't know if I updated you guys, but trade stopped me out and it finally went to my direction, although did not get to my take profit. So it has started doing its thing, in which I'm going to come back to do another analysis to see what went wrong. But I think the problem was my entry level, because I should have entered here and not here. But then again, that was for USD CHF. And then next up we have CHF JPY. Now CHF JPY played out perfectly, and I actually did not enter CHF JPY. If you remember, the trades I entered were USD CHF and Euro USD. CHF JPY played out perfectly. It got under, but the only thing was that it did not retest to this zone. It didn't retest, so even if I had seen it, I may most likely had not entered this trade because there was no retest. Here there was a retest under here, but here was already too late. So CHF JPY played out perfectly, and then the next one, the problem with CHF JPY, by the way, was it didn't retest. Now this is GBP JPY GJ. GJ played out perfectly also, but GJ, like I was expecting, did not come into this zone perfectly, because if you remember, I said I wanted it to fall perfectly here and we take it to the upside, in which it didn't fall perfectly here. But then here it came here, broke under, retested, and still went back to the upside, which is still a win. So if we can like shift this, and if we entered from here, this would have been a very perfect trade, but still missed. Then Euro USD, which was the one I entered right here, I entered the trade at this point, and then it started pulling down, and at this point it pulled all the way to the upside. Euro USD was the trade I put my all, I went all in for Euro USD, and it didn't go according to plan. And then the next one, now for USD JPY is still in motion, although I did not see it right here. Like I literally put my all in Euro USD, which disappointed me. But USD JPY, I didn't see it on time. So maybe if you can come back again, I could consider re-entering to take it to the upside. But I don't think it may come back again. And then for AUD card is another one I anticipated that is still in motion, but also missed. And then GBP CHF was a trade I did not even expect. I think I even said I'm not really looking forward to this trade because I'm not trusting it. It has a whole lot of consolidations in which I'm not really interested in, but seems like there's something I may be interested in. These consolidations right here, maybe if the market, because it seems like it's coming back here, maybe if the market comes back here, I could re-enter the trade for a short position right here, then have my take profits here and have my stop loss exactly here, which is like a 1:4. I could consider this trade. This is on a 45 minutes time frame. Maybe the next 50 something seconds, this candlestick will close, and it has this ginormous push. Like it's not slowing down, bro. This push is so massive, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. So I could actually consider this one GBP CHF. And then the next one is NZD USD, played out perfectly. We had a break and retest, and to the upside. I didn't enter this trade because I felt I had too much, that these ones may not really be that necessary. And I think this could be the last one. Yes, this is the last one. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be having a reanalysis of the trade. The trades I have right now, I'm on like 4K, right? Is that 4? 2K rather. I'm on like 2K drawdown. Yeah, 2K drawdown. So I'm going to find the perfect entry that I can enter and then make some money back. So I'm happy that something very amazing just happened in the Forex market. And guys, you cannot even believe it. So first things first, this is trade updates. The time is 12:26 a.m. Thursday, 12th of June. You can see that is the time. This is what is going on right now. So I entered the trade on GBP USD, in which you can see you saw the screen video a few seconds ago, and now this is where the trade is. Now there is no take profits. There is no take profit, and I'm going to show you how much we're floating on soon. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, voila. Amazing, man. Come on. And I saw this and I felt, yeah, this would be a very good entry because I saw this double bottom right here. And overall, the way I analyze this GBP USD trade, overall, you can see the weekly bullish, the daily bullish, the 4 hours bullish, the 1 hour bullish. So four time frames are bullish automatically. So I don't really need to look for too much because the 4 time frames are bullish. So I'm looking for buys. So you can see how bullish the daily looks. If we now go to the 4 hours time frame, the 4 hours time frame still looks very more bullish. Very more bullish. It's still going to the upside. Now we can see this higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. But now there's like an inverse head and shoulder, or a head and shoulder right here. Now people could be wondering, okay, why did I take this trade to the downside? Specifically because this week right here must have taken it to the downside and it has come back up to retest. Now if we come down to the 1 hour time frame again, on the 1 hour time frame, now we can now see that from the 1 hour time frame, it is still making higher highs and higher lows. So this is an inverse head and shoulder, in which this was like the major thing that propped me. We can see this left shoulder head, right shoulder, break above and retest. This week right here is like a retest. Left shoulder. So you're going to understand. So this is the left shoulder. This is the head. This is the right shoulder. Break above, retest, and now this retest we're taking it to the upside. Now we've gone one and we've come back again to retest. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, very pronounced, and then obviously higher high again. The market is retracing. I think I need to end this trade right now. Let me close all profits. Close all positions. Voila. Now, like I was explaining, higher highs, higher low, higher high. Now, at this point, when I got this higher low, I obviously knew that the market was still going to the upside. Now, if you now come down to the maybe 15 minutes, we can now see the market better. First things, we can see the higher high, higher low, higher high, double bottom. When you see a double bottom, you obviously expect the market to go to the upside. Now, double bottom, now from this double bottom, push to the upside. Now, this market could still be going to the upside because I didn't add any take profits, but I had to close it because of the rejection. But the market could still be going to the upside. Maybe, who knows? The market wants to test the upward movement. But then again, still, now I'm saying this, if I get a break above here and retest, I'm going to take the market to the upside for sure. Guys, I'm seeing something delicious. I can see something so good right here. So this is about an hour later. It is 2:01 a.m. The exact same night. And now remember what I told you about like few minutes ago. Take a look at this right now. So remember, I told you this is still GBP USD. This was where I got out of the market. It retested, did some consolidation. And remember, I said, if the market breaks and retests here, I'm going to enter this trade. I'm going to re-enter this trade. Now, I'm saying this. If I get a break above here and retest, I'm going to take the market to the upside for sure. Remember, this was the first trade in which I entered. This was the first trade in which I entered. I entered the trade here. I don't know if I mentioned, I missed it by a week, or it missed me by a week. It came back here, gave a double bottom, and now got back here. Then I took my take profit and I said, if the market breaks above and comes back to retest, I'm going to re-enter this trade. And ladies and gentlemen, it is doing just that. This is going to be so delicious, man. Just give me some time. Just give us some minutes. And you're going to see me re-enter this trade. For those of you who know, Fxalexg, which is my Forex mentor, dropped a signal. Now, this was a signal in which Fxalexg dropped in his Telegram group chats, the G challenge. Now, you can see this is, what pairs is this? Is GBP card. You can clearly see this is GBP card. So now in the GBP card, he's wanting us to sell. And he dropped this about a few minutes ago, 1:39 a.m. and the time is 2:03 a.m. So about 30 minutes ago. So yeah, this is the G challenge Telegram account. So as we can see, he's expecting a sell from this, a buy from this. It's already gone, so I have no business with this. And this is Euro Okay, this is GBP card, and then the other one I think is Euro GBP. Yeah, the other one is Euro GBP. Now, if we come into the GBP card, now this is GBP card. Now, GBP card is a 4 hours trade, is a 4 hours time frame trade. So this trade is going to like take, a full day to play out completely. The previous one I have, which is GBP USD, would play out before the sun rises. But this is going to take like the full day, or maybe even about 2 days, like the whole of this week to play out. And then the next one is Euro GBP, in which we have now, according to his prediction, he's expecting Euro GBP to come back down to this area of interest. Then we take it to the upside, which is this. Yeah, come back down to this area of interest, right? Yeah, this is Euro GBP, right? Yes, come back down to this area of interest, which is right here. And then we take it to the upside, specifically from the daily time frame. So this was Alex G's prediction for Euro GBP. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-enter GBP USD like I said I will. I'm going to be re-entering GBP USD. Now, when I re-enter GBP USD, I'm going to wait for the trade to play out. And then once the trade has played out, then I'm going to enter GBP card. But first things first, GBP USD before GBP card, then before Euro GBP, all right? All right, guys, so trade updates. About an hour later, the time is 3:17 a.m. An hour later, this is how the markets are going. So the markets, like I said, I thought from here was going to pull back down, but it still moved a little bit upward and finally landed here. So I'm going to be taking it back to the upside, and very simple and short. Now for GBP card has started moving to the downside, in which I could take the trade. I feel like I want to take this trade because I see like a rejection. So maybe I'm going to enter a trade on GBP card. Not too sure, but for now, I just entered back on GBP USD and we're just going. So I'm going to step out of the market and update you guys later. Bye for now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to announce the biggest win for the game, the biggest win for the week, the biggest win for the trade, the biggest win for the challenge, the biggest win for the video. And yes, I would give credit to my mentor, Fxalexg. Let me show you what we have right here. So guys, this is GBP card. Now, if you remember, I talked about it yesterday. I saw GBP card, the signal from Fxalexg's channel yesterday, in which you can see where he talked about GBP card, which is this one. Yes. So this was the one of exactly GBP card. So I copied it, and this is GBP card right here. And ladies and gentlemen, would you look at that? I caught the move right here, very sweet move. It came to this point, retested, down, retested, and down back again. So we're about to hit our take profits. And now, how much have we made? Drum roll, please. So it's about $8,300 from the trade from GBP card, and the trade is going wonderfully well. And I don't have too much to say. Also, I also entered GBP USD. This was the GBP USD trade in which we entered. Remember, we entered when the trade broke above here and got back. So it break above and retest into this very important key level. Break above, retest, and then we now took the trade. And exactly this place where we kept our take profits, it tagged into the take profits and all of a sudden went straight to our stop loss. That was so amazing. If we come here, we look at how it tagged perfectly into our take profits. Like, it just missed it passed our take profits by a few pips, and all the way, pushed all the way down. So maybe imagine I had the take profits right here, maybe expecting more profits. That's how I would have lost the whole money for GBP USD. And it tagged into our take profits and all the way went straight down. So we can see this was the GBP USD trade. I made about $1,000. Yes, I have some other losses I incurred throughout the week. From GBP JPY, GBP JPY, I had a loss. But overall, the wins were better than the losses. The GBP USD, finally, I also had one loss. But that loss was from one of those trades that the my take profit was, I think, a little bit high. So it was not able to come into my take profits, but it moved to the downside. But the remaining two, it's why I don't put all my take profits at the exact same level. So at least I could secure some profits, and even if I may not end up securing everything. So ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up the week, this week went exponentially well. GBP USD tagged into my take profits. As for Euro GBP, we're expecting it to come back, retest, and then we take it to the upside. It never made it back to this area. But then next week, it could come back because today is Friday. And then for GBP card, the trade is actually still on for GBP card, in which I may be closing anytime soon, because if we can see, the trade is still on for GBP card. So I may be closing anytime soon, but today is Friday. Let's see how it's going to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here I was about to fall asleep, and obviously still on my phone. Then before I saw a notification from the group, and let me show you what I saw. So this is the G Challenge group, and then Fxalexg dropped this notification from the group about Euro GBP. So, and if you remember, Euro GBP was the pair in which he talked about, where he said that we're going to expect the trade to come to the downside then before we take it to the upside. So it has started, or we're predicting it to start coming to the downside soon. But then before I show you what I want to show you on the system, just going through Fxalexg's Instagram. So if you come to his Instagram, Fxalexg. So these are the trades in which he himself has been taking.
We're live. Is recording? Alright, trade update. And 3,
Yeah,
2, 1.
boy, trade updates.
Alright, so trade update.
Trade updates, that's the normal slang.
Right now, fucked up. Last night, I took a trade in London session.
So he was narrating how he took a trade and he didn't tell us which is GBPNZD.
That I did not send out in the WhatsApp or the Telegram channel. GBPNZD is happening. So you guys can see that I literally called it right there, GBPNZD, and then I told David to stay up, and now we're up about 1,000 total balance
So
is 1,600.
I'm literally following him.
I'm ready. So
for the
fucked up.
trade.
I want to hold us and myself accountable.
So this is Euro GBP, and I just entered Euro GBP. As you can see, it is literally the exact same thing with what he called out right here. So if we look at this, and if you look at this, it is literally the exact same thing. So we're just waiting for Euro GBP to play out, and I mean, his Fxalexg, whatever he says, we do. For now, the time is 4:18 a.m. Friday, 13th of June. All right, guys. Peace. Bye for now. Yep. All right, guys. So today is Saturday. 3:24 a.m. Saturday morning. Hope you can see that. All right, so first things first, it's a trade update. So today is Saturday. So we're not really able to achieve so much, but in wrap up for the week, in total, we made about $3,000 for this week. Now, remember, the challenge is to take $1,000 to $100,000 from Fxalexg, in which I'm following him. Initially, we made losses. Now, the GBP JPY trade that I lost $200 was the trade went against my direction. But the GBP USD trade that I lost $200, the trade did not go against my direction, but my stop loss was too tight. And then it tagged into my stop loss, but finally went towards my direction, in which you can also see there are some GBP USD trades in which I made some money. You can see I made some money, $200, this $800, this $1,000, and so on and so forth. Then GBP card was the one I copied from Fxalexg, also $1,800, approximately $2,000. So in total, we ended up securing about 3K for the week. 3K for the week, which is very amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to stick around with me till next week, in which next week we're going to be taking the 3K to however much. Okay, peace and love. Bye for now.